Are we live? Think so. Yeah, I think we're live. All right. All right. What's going on, guys? Females, males. Um, we're gonna be talking about Venus retrograde houses 1 through 6. Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, um, I was hold on, y'all, cause hold on, y'all. All right, I had things on mute. Um, all right, I had things on mute. Anybody watching? It don't matter who's watching. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. All right, there we go. All right, guys. Um, welcome. Venus transit Aries retrograde interpretation. All right. So there we go. Houses 1 through 7. Um, interpretation. So what I was saying earlier is yesterday I had did a video of like what does this transit bring, and it brings a lot of different things, especially since these two is the first, like the sign and the planet is the uh, first house, and of course the seventh house, the eighth, and of course the second, relatively. Okay, so we're gonna start off with house one. Remember, if you need help to find out which house you have Aries in, you can always give me look on Google, of course, if you want to take it. If you're the type of person you want to take it to your own hands, go on Google, go on, download the app. You don't necessarily you don't need an astrologist or astrologer help when it comes to self interpretation, but if you do need my help, I am definitely here. Okay, you have to look at your chart and you have to see where Aries in your chart lies, and that gives you a lot of signals and a lot of um, I would say it will give you a basic um, subjectory of how Aries or the first house to say will act inside of your chart and how it could affect you. All right. So what is house number one? House is of course the own sign. So or the home sign of Aries, which is of course representation. First house. So this could possibilities and interpretations. These are possibilities that could happen if you have Venus transit Aries in any of these houses, especially since it's retrograde. Retrograde is going to be a little bit more pulling. See, retrograde it makes things very karmatic too, I would say, because retrogrades it brings a lot of tugging to experiencing what the planet is trying to say to certain people in their lives and lifestyles. So you have to pay attention to your retrograde Venus or just retrograde planets in general. House one. Face or head surgery is possible with this transit. There could be a possibility with physical or threatening situations with you or your partner in most scenarios both. There can be a chance of reevaluation on who you be, propose to be to others and what you intend to be for yourself. So with Venus traveling in Aries in the first house, there is a clarification for yourself that you want to make more serious. You want to create a new personification of yourself towards others, and you want to know yourself more than anybody you cosplay of yourself. Okay, because you can cosplay yourself to others, but sometimes they see the you. In this type of situation, you want to internalize yourself and re-establish yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. With Venus going retrograde in the first house, there's a possibility that you or your partner's exes, ex fiancés, I would say, um, ex, I would say just past actions, or just not even just past actions, just past values could be exemplified during um the during your first house, your house one. House one represents yourself always. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing else I have for house one at this moment because I made this today. But if I were to go into detail, I can give multiple meanings for house one. But we're gonna keep it moving. House two, there could be a possibility that your finances may take a major blow. There could be a major change within your face region, and of course, your food intake or reaction and sensitivity, if not balanced, will become activated in a way that is very noticeable. Noticeable. Be very careful with overreaction. So when Venus is there, Venus is home, but it has the sign that is 12 signs away in the second house. So if you have Aries in the second house, there will be a lot of, especially if Venus is there right now, there will be a lot of disturbances with um your self goals. You won't have a persona. It will be difficult for one to establish a self goal during the second house because of finances or just of um just of not just finances, but what that individual holds valuable. It may not be very very fit for that individual. They have to see or they have to reestablish what holds a lot of value for themselves. A lot of what they're doing is probably not the best fit at this moment, but at the same time, if you have the first house and the second house, you have a lot of grit, meaning you have you could take an L or a win, and it will more than likely fit in a way of where you could not see it in the beginning, but seeing it in the end as far as long term goals for yourself. There's a possibility that if you have second house, you will be worried about your the status of your hair or just the beautiness of your hair. For instance, if your hair is short, you might want long. You might not feel as beautiful. Or there's a retro since Venus is retrograde and it's in the second house, you just want to your main focus is not only your hair, it is always of course your livelihood and I would say your assets and what you have at this moment is very in jeopardy. Be sure to reevaluate your life, reevaluate your livelihood, and create new meanings of value. If you don't create new meanings of value during this Venus retrograde, because that's what Venus trying to tell you to do, especially if you have a lot of women around you and you have Aries in the second house, it will be deprivation that the reactions of the woman or the reactions of women in general or feminine counterparts will try to give you the hone the skills to change yourself or to change the way you spend money or you focus on the way of your finances. So just um, keep in mind of see when Aries in the second house, it's more so all of your all of your sensitivity, all of your all of your values has everything to do with how you look. If you have the sun in the second house, you're not going to feel up to par because you're going to be so focused on what you value. Make sure to show love towards things that you do not value. That is another way to humble Venus and Aries in the second house. If you do not do that, Venus will create fire in your life. And of course Mars. Oh. Okay, we're gonna stop talking about the second house. We're gonna move on to the third house. If you have this sign or if you have Aries in the third house, um your actions you'll be more so thinking too much of what you have done, whether it's in the past or in the current state of what you're doing at this current of time. Most of your thoughts, or most of your yeah, most of your thoughts and actions is more so depreciated because it stays in the mind. If you have Aries in the third house, um, Venus is there. When Venus gets there, the reason why it stays in the mind is because once the individual lets that thought out, it's been loading. Once they let that thought out or whatever they thought towards an individual or a person, um, they must load up for more energy as far as thought process. Um, Venus and Aries in the third house. What else could I say? Oh, there's a chance that your partner may take cyber threats. Of course, there's a chance that thoughts of an individual may become very violent or threatening about individuals who has awkward characteristics or actions. So, um, if you have Aries in the third house, one's thoughts is very vigor, and direct, very direct, but also again it's activated, but it's very judgmental since seventh house is in the ninth. So just be very careful of being overly judgmental in your head, in your thought process. Be careful of making trigger responses your off of just thinking about yourself and just thinking about how you would do things, and just be very wary of how you react and do things in general towards um boys or just people in general. Okay. Okay. I think that's done for house number three. We're gonna move on to house number four. There is some sort of transition with emotional security during this period of time. You have to work on your emotional impulses during this period of time. There's a chance that feminine and masculine figures may visit your place, specifically family that is close to you by law or, of course, by brother or masculine figures. Also, if this is not the case, one is very sensitive on how they feel about their um their family. Okay, one will rethink values on what they do for their family. Okay, if you have Aries in that fourth house, this is a time, especially in retrograde, this is a time to where you will rethink on what you do for your family members or just people in general. Okay, this is similar to Aries in the first house. Okay, except for it gets more private. Maybe there is emotional, not emotional security, but emotional maturity. One has to catch up on emotional, I mean, not emotional security, but one has to catch up on emotional maturity towards their actions. Whatever you've been doing or whatever you've done and whatever you will begin to do, you have to present while this transit in progress, you have to present to yourself. See, all this is for yourself, not for anybody else. It's for you. Anybody who's watching this across the screen, this is all for you. This sign is all for you. One will take steps to reevaluate their impulses and maturity towards their own family and their own self. They will have the energy and they will have the friction to reevaluate and to address. This transit will bring your open insecurities to your forefront. Okay, your open insecurities will come to the forefront, the forefront of your life. Be sure to not dodge it. Be sure to not be overly overly content with yourself and a judgment of others towards yourself. Make sure you keep calm. That is the best way for this. Do not let your emotional standard of how you do things take over. House number 5. Birth of a new intelligence is possible. There's a chance that you or your son may find a significant partner while in school. Be very selective of your actionary discipline during this transit. Not a lot of people can take the heat uh, of your beauty, or of course your children's beauty. So there's an opportunity that is presented with having a new trade in your arsenal if you have Aries in the fifth house. Okay, this trade can be presented by somebody who is a friend that has something to do with your education or just your wittiness. See, the thing about people like think about gurus and masters and all this shit. Some of them, some of these people are close to you. Okay, but think about teachers and all that. They're close to you, and you may not even realize that. I'm not even saying you as a person across the screen. I'm just saying anybody in your life. Okay. Um, what else could I say about the fifth house? I would say there's a lot of there might be a chance of a lot of romantic um engagement if you have this in the fifth house. You may meet a new female, or if you are a male, you might. I mean, if you are a female, you might meet a male. Okay, during this transit, you are inclined for I would say you are inclined for I would say I'm kind of lost for fifth house in Aries. I'm not gonna lie. I'm freestyling this guy, so bear with me. Okay, during this transit, there is a chance of also to sportsmen, sporting. So sporting is very possible, especially taking bets. So if you have Aries in the fifth house, there's a chance that sporting or some type is as far as bets is more exemplified. Okay, during this transit of gambling, when it comes to the fifth house is gambling. Um, um, Aries is the first house, which is the sign of pure action, pure impulse. Within this case, there's a possibility with trades with some type of trades with female or gambling with female figures. Any type of way, I would say. And I think that's pretty much it for what I got right now in my head. I'm not gonna lie, as far as what I'm doing, what I'm saying for this video, I don't really like it. But I'll let you guys be like for the future, my future fans, or I'm gonna say fans, my future support of people on the channel. I'll let you guys be the decide factor of what you think. Um, yeah. Anyways, house number 6. Specifically, there could be some confliction with speech in general, things you might be wanting to say, things that you might want to say to make to male counterparts may come out. There could be um some depth towards uh ode towards some specific male counterpart or female or feminine aggressor counterpart. There's a chance that you could be doing some sort of strategical fun time and can be very productive for your mental health. I feel like too, if you have this placement, be very standard or be very like um on the go of checking up on your health. Maybe there is some health concerns with your throat, uh, with your face, and of course with your what's that kidneys. Of course, check on your kidneys and just check on anything that has anything to do with consumption or anything to do with your daily um anything you do on the daily that is very very uh, effective in a bad way, I would say. Not effective, be effective. Effective. So just be careful on your mental health and not only your mental health, your literal body. And I would say if you have this placement, um, check on your diet, um, whether it's body fat or whether it's non-eating or losing too much weight. There's a chance that you might want to check on your blood and just anything to do with your health. Like I said, uh, there's a good chance that you could go to the you have to go to the doctors, or this could be your younger brother or your younger masculine cousin. I would say on your uh, that is on your mother's auntie, your mother's sister, of course, your maternal side of the family. So if they have a problem too, this conducts a problem with that. So yeah, I think that's it for houses 1 through 6. I feel like fifth house could be better, but I think that's it, guys. Um, retrograde again, it makes things a little bit more significant. Like I said last video, it's very repetitive, so it will keep showing up as if it's like an alert on your phone. So you have to make some type of concern, and if you do not, then it's just gonna keep bothering. This goes for anybody because everybody is experiencing the retrograde. Venus is retrograding in Aries. The opposite is retrograding in its enemy sign. Anyways, ELI'S.JYESTHA, that is it for houses 1 through 6. Next video I drop will be either later tonight or tomorrow in the morning. Venus retrograde, Aries, houses 7 through 12. Okay, I think that is it. Peace.